Children, we have already discussed about the linear motion and various concept of linear motion. Now in this video that we are going to discuss about the graphical representation of linear motion. So normally in physics and the physical concepts, various physical concepts can be represented graphically, and out of all that linear motion or the various concepts, various formula, various derivatives of that linear motion can be represented graphically. So first of all, we should have some sort of introductory idea about that the graph and the graphical representation. You must have known that in case of a graph, a plane on that graph can be divided into four quadrants by intersecting two number lines, real number lines at that zero mark. And in that case, we can say that one of these, the horizontal line, that is your x-axis, x dash, and the vertical axis, that is your y dash. X-axis, otherwise known as the abscissa value, and y-axis, that is your known as the ordinates. X-axis, on this x-axis, as you progress from 0 towards the right side, this indicates your the positive side, or that 1, 2, 3, 4, likewise the positive values. Whereas as we progress towards the left, -1, -2, -3 onwards, so negative. Similarly, in case of y-axis or the ordinate value, as we progress upward, it indicates that the positive value, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, likewise the positive value. Similarly, downward, minus, -1, -2, so likewise this is your negative one. Therefore, now the entire plane is divided into four quadrants, in which we will be getting that the first quadrant that indicates positive, means all those real values having positive symbol, that can be represented in first quadrant. Second quadrant, that will be your negative and positive. On x-axis the values will be negative, and y-axis it is positive. So therefore all that values whose real values will be negative and positive, that will be in the second quadrant. Third quadrant, that represents both the sides, that negative and negative. So therefore both the values on x-axis and y-axis, both negative values, that will be represented in that the third quadrant. Similarly, on the fourth quadrant, we will be getting positive and negative values. Means that on x-axis positive value, whereas on y-axis negative values. So what does it mean? Whenever we are representing a sort of point, like suppose P 2, 4, this indicates that the x value is 2 and y value is 4, and therefore this point can be represented on the first quadrant 2, on x-axis we progress 2 and then goes to that 4 to locate that particular point, that is your that P 2, 4. Now similarly, when a number of lines that will be joined according to that the linear equation with two variables, So in such cases we will be getting a straight line which will pass through that the entire plane. For example, now let us consider that x plus y is equal to 4. In such cases we can say that y is equal to minus x plus 4, or therefore taking the various points for this linear equation, now it will take x and y value. So in such cases it will take x value as 0, then y value will be 4, x value will be 1, then it will be 3, if minus 1 then this becomes 5. So likewise it will take 2, then it becomes 2. So taking this as a point P1 0, 4, P2 1, 3, P3 -1, 5, and P4 2, 2. So if we'll plot a graph, then probably that the graph will pass through. So if we'll take this as a line, in such cases we'll be getting suppose 0, 4 somewhere else here, and similarly 1, 3 somewhere else here, or -1, 5 somewhere else here, and 2, 2 somewhere else here. So therefore, if we join all that, it becomes a straight line. So in case of linear equation, we are getting, if it contains two variables, in such cases we are getting that y value is equal to -x plus 4. Likewise in this equation, and we will plot all that points, and joining all that points we will be getting a straight line. Now here in such cases that we are taking that the x value first and y value then, so therefore we can say that x is the independent variable, x is the independent variable, whereas y, which depends on that x, so therefore this is a sort of dependent variable. Similarly, in physics also, we have some dependent and independent variable. So this can be represented every time the independent variable that will be represented on x-axis, whereas the dependent variable that has to be represented on y-axis. Let us take an example. When we say in physics, linear equation, in linear motion, it will say that speed, that is equal to distance by time. So here we are having altogether three variables. Now in this case we can say that v is equal to s by t. So where unless there will be the value of time, there will be no question of distance. So therefore we can say that t, or the time, that is one independent variable, whereas s is a dependent variable which depends on that of t value. So therefore, now whenever we are going to represent that one graphically, in such cases that t should be there on the x-axis, or the value of t should be represented on the x-axis, and s should be represented on that of y-axis. So the dependent variable, in case of any sorts of expression, it may be any sorts of expression other than that speed. Then in such cases we have to see that which one is the dependent variable and which one is your independent variable. In such cases, independent variable has to be represented on x-axis. It may be positive, it may be negative, whatever it may be. Similarly, the dependent variable, every time it has to be represented on y-axis. Remember that independent variable has to be represented on x-axis, whereas dependent variable which has to be depend on this, the dependent variable has to be represented on y-axis. So this is very important that we have to remember this thing, that which one is independent, which one is dependent. Now, while we are discussing about this line, now you must have seen that the line is making a certain angle with respect to that x-axis, and at the same time it is intersecting x-axis at one point and y-axis at another point. So irrespective of the nature of that the expression, physical expression, every time we will find out there must be a graph which may be intersecting these two lines, two axes at any 2 points, or it may be just means aligned on that of particular axis, x-axis or y-axis, or it may be on the negative side. Whatever it may be, definitely it must be making a certain angle with respect to that the baseline or otherwise x-axis. That is what said to be the inclination. So inclination, when we say that inclination, this indicates that the degree of angle made by the line with respect to the baseline or otherwise x-axis. Baseline or otherwise x-axis. So now here this inclination is a sort of obtuse, but if a line that we are getting, when we are getting the line in this manner, at that time we can say, suppose this is the line, these are the x-axis and y-axis. So in such cases, this line is making one angle with respect to x-axis, which is acute angle. This is a sort of obtuse angle it is making, which is greater than 90 degree, whereas this makes acute angle. And normally, if it makes acute angle, then we can say that the angle is a positive angle. While if it is obtuse angle, then that is a negative angle. Or if we say that this is one obtuse angle, then this is a sort of negative angle. Why it is negative and why it is positive, later on that you will know in higher classes. But however, if the angle measures in anti-clockwise manner, and this should be positive. But however, if we consider that obtuse angle, then we consider that the angle is a sort of negative value and this is a sort of positive value. Now, whenever it is making a sort of angle with respect to that of the baseline, there comes another term, that is your slope. So, slope of a line. So, when we say that the slope of a line, this depends on that the value of y component with respect to that of the x component, means the difference of that y value with respect to that of the x value. So in such cases, slope of a line that can be defined as that the y component, the ratio between the y component, so slope is y component with respect to that of the x component. Or in other words, whenever you will read about the trigonometry, in trigonometrically it can be expressed as the slope. So trigonometrically, the slope of a line, that is considered to be tan theta, where theta is the angle of inclination. So in one way we can say that the slope of the line, that is your x component, y component with respect to x component, or trigonometrically if we will express, then that is your tangent of angle theta or angle of inclination made by the line with respect to that of the x-axis. But however, for the time being, you have to remember that if it has made obtuse angle, then the slope here is negative. If the angle is obtuse, when measured anti-clockwise with respect to the baseline, then in such cases that the slope is negative. Or similarly, if the angle is acute when measured anti-clockwise, then in such cases the slope is positive. So here we can say that the slope of the line is positive and here the slope is negative. So this is very important to remember. So now for example, we can say that whenever a line is drawn in such a manner, this is a sort of obtuse angle, so therefore the slope is negative. Similarly, if the line is made in this manner, this also, the angle here is obtuse when we are measuring in anti-clockwise manner. So in such cases, the slope is negative. If it is drawn in this manner, in such cases, the angle here is one acute angle when it is measured in anti-clockwise direction. So it is acute. So therefore, the slope is positive. Or if it measures in this manner, in such cases also, the angle which measures anti-clockwise, that is positive angle, it is acute and therefore it is positive. So therefore slope is also positive. And whenever the line just lies on that the x-axis, whenever the line exactly lies on that the x-axis, now consider that this is x and x dash. So another line which lies exactly on that x-axis, in that case, angle is 0 with respect to that of the x-axis and therefore the slope is 0. Or if it is also parallel to that x-axis, if a line is drawn in this manner, then in such cases, if the angle of that x-axis is 0, so in such cases the line which is parallel to that of the x-axis, that is also 0, and therefore here also in such cases the slope is 0. Slope of line, that becomes 0. Similarly, on the other side, that we can say that if a line lies exactly on y-axis, if suppose one line is lying just on that the y-axis, in such cases the angle is exactly 90 degree, or therefore here the slope is infinite or cannot be said or cannot be defined. Similarly, if any line will be parallel to that of the y-axis or it is perpendicular to x-axis, the same thing, that angle is 90 degree and therefore the slope is infinite. All these things that you have to remember, that first of all, the slope means with respect to the base angle, how much it is inclined. Then we have to see that what is the nature of that the angle. If the angle, when it measures anti-clockwise, just imagine that how that the angle means how my hand moves. It moves in anti-clockwise direction, and if it is obtuse, then it is negative. If it is acute, then that is positive. If it is exactly on the x-axis, then the slope is 0. And when it will be parallel to that x-axis, either of this side or this side, in both the cases, that we can say that the slope is 0. And similarly, when it is lying on that the y-axis or parallel to y-axis in any direction, then in such cases the slope is infinite because the angle is exactly 90 degree. After getting the introductory idea, now we will go to our main topic, that is your graphical representation of linear motion. In case of linear motion, as we have already known, that the three different variables are there. One is your that the speed or velocity, which can be represented in v. Similarly, distance or displacement, which can be represented in s. Time, which is a very vital factor, t, and acceleration or retardation, that is a. So we have, in case of linear motion, we have all these four different variables which are used in different concepts. Now, therefore, based on these four variables and their relations, we have three different types of graphs, or all that concepts can be represented in three different manner graphically. Number one, that is your displacement time graph. Displacement time graph, where, or in other words, in short, we can say that S versus T graph, where T is the independent variable and S is the dependent variable. Second one, that is your velocity time graph. Velocity time graph or V versus T graph. And the third one, that is your acceleration time graph. Acceleration time graph. Remember that in case of linear motion or motion in one dimension, displacement time graph and distance time graph both are same. Similarly, velocity time graph and speed time graph both are same. In case of linear motion or motion in one dimension, when we are discussing about displacement time graph, that is also same as that of the distance time graph. When we discuss about velocity time graph, that is also same as speed time graph. But if it will be a motion in 2 dimension or 3 dimension, the meaning must have been different. Because in this case what happens, linear motion means that motion of the body in one particular direction. So that is why all these are having the same meaning with respect to that distance time graph. So I hope that you must have not confused over that displacement time graph and distance time graph or velocity time graph and speed time graph. So out of